The story begins with the main character Zhang Hao, an ordinary office worker who was heading home from work, feeling tired and stressed out with his work. Suddenly, a red moon appears. Zhang Hao was caught by surprise while wondering what was going on. He then wakes up the next day in a strange place wearing a pink nightgown and a pink hairband, and his room was all pink, and everything seemed so feminine-like. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door checking to see if he was awake, because he was supposedly to go shopping with his best friend, Long Long. The man then told him he is a boy, and that he needs to know how to do makeup like his best friend, Long. Zhang Hao then started to wonder who the heck he was, and who was Long Long, and why in the world would he need to do makeup. Thinking out loud, he started to wonder if he was going crazy. Suddenly his phone rang. It was Long Long telling him to come and open the door. Zhang Hao's imagination started to wander off on Long Long being buff and muscular guy with tattoos. He then rushes to go meet Long, but to his surprise, Long was a feminine-looking, skinny guy dressed weird from what was in his imagination. Long then came in, and Zhang Hao's uncle was praising Long with how well-dressed he was. Long was ready to go get a skin treatment, which made Zhang Hao confused as to what was going on. It seems in this world, the gender roles have been inverted. Here men are in charge of housework and cleaning the house, and women are the stronger ones and in charge of the house and runs everything. Here by nature, a man's body is nowhere as strong as a woman, and their endurance isn't good at all. The men are in charge of raising kids while the women do all the physical labor. Long wanted to go get his nails done and get more beauty supplies, but as they were passing a tattoo shop, Zhang Hao grabbed Long and pulled him into the tattoo shop and asked to get dragon tattoos in his mind. He was trying to claim back their manliness. Long was hesitant, wondering if Zhang Hao was crazy. Zhang Hao then replied he is not crazy, and that today is going to be the day he remembered what a real man is like. The tatted-up girls in the shop told him tattoos are not for little brothers, asking if he is a bad boy or what. Enraged, Zhang Hao pulled his shirt off to show them that he was a real man and not a softie. The girls in the shop got excited and started throwing money at him. Long tried stopping him, saying he was crazy, but Zhang Hao had his mind set on being a real man. Zhang Hao then returned home exhausted from a long and eventful day out and saw his sister Zhang Hao and other family members having dinner. After letting everyone knows he was full, Zhang Hao made his way back to his room. He then started to feel tired in his heart with everything that happened today, and felt sick of wearing nice clothes and makeup and getting catcalled and heckled by thugs. He became enraged because he did not want to be like his dad and Long, who have both become ladylike and soft. He also heard that in this world men will have menstrual periods. He became more upset and threw his teddy bear at his door. At the same time, his sister opened the door and was hit by the bear. He then fell on the bed, and his sister was over him as he apologized for hitting her. His sister then embarrassed him, asking if he missed her. She asked why was his face so red, if he was sick. He flicked her off, making it clear that he was just fine. Later that night, as Zhang Hao was sleeping, he was awakened by someone calling his name in the middle of the night. He then woke up to a stunning red-haired girl asking if he remembers her. She let him know that she was the one who brought him to this world. Enraged, he asked why she brought him to this sissy world. She then introduced herself as the Blood Moon. She let him know that he can go back, but he needs to complete the task. She let him know that he needs to become a real man in a world filled with females, and only then there will be a way to return home, otherwise he will have to fit into this world. Then she vanished into thin air. The next morning, Zhang Hao wakes up thinking it was a dream, but saw something left over on the floor and concluded maybe it was not a dream. As he was brushing his teeth that morning, he started to think on what he can do to finish this real man task and get back home to his world where it is normal. But he has no idea where to start. Looking at himself in the mirror, he accepted the fact that he has kind of become a bit too feminine in this world, and has no other choice but to learn more about this so-called sissy world. He then started to think to himself that he needed to do some research on whatever strange phenomenon happened the other night with the goddess of the blood moon. He realizes that he has to do his own investigation, but he is not an expert, so it seems he will need to hire someone that is realizing he is only a high school student. With no money to his name, he crumbles to the ground, but then picks himself up and was ready to go out and find a way to earn some cash. As he makes his way to breakfast, he was greeted by his sister, Quinn, wearing her sexy lingerie. He joked to himself that if all the girls are like Quinn, he can endure this world for a while. It's a new day. Zhang Hao is getting ready for school, admiring himself, being a lot more handsome than his past life. It's almost as if he had gotten a facelift, but it's still too feminine for his taste. Today will be the first day Zhang Hao will be heading back to school since he arrived in this new world and is having mixed feelings on what to expect. On his way to school with his friend, Long asked if he liked his new lipstick. Zhang Hai pushed Long, telling him to chill and restrain himself in public. Long started to cry and said Zhang Hao has changed. Zhang Hao let him know that they have different concepts of being a man, and that he wanted to be like a Chad, but it's so far out of his reach. From a distance, Long made him know that there was some perverted girl watching them. Zhang Hao wondered why would a pervert want to watch two guys. Zhang Hao started to ask if she was afraid of two big men, and he'll set her straight if she tries hurting any of them. It's all about gender equality. Long then started to wonder if Zhang Hao was still asleep talking about all this nonsense about gender equality. At school and saw all the girls, Zhang Hao realizes that girls here are a lot stronger, and he will not be able to interact with them in the way he was used to. Long then drags him. Both ran together while running out of breath. In no time they then arrived in class to see another student who could not open a bottle for himself, so he had to ask the teacher. Seeing this, Zhang Hao started to wonder why he was so weak in this world, and dudes can't open a simple bottle of water. Zhang Hao intervenes and grabs the bottle to try and open it. He failed, not being able to open a simple water bottle. Making his way down the hallway, Long shouted for Zhang Hao to wait on him so they can go to the bathroom together, but Zhang Hao was not having it and sweared that even in a reverse world, he's not going to the bathroom with another man, and slipped away. As he was making his way down the hall, he was crowded by girls, flaunting over him, calling him beautiful and dreamy. Zhang Hao felt as if this was a bit too far and definitely sexual harassment. Zhang Hao then screamed and shouted, asking her, why are girls so daring these days? She assured him he shouldn't act this way, while manipulating him into thinking he's overreacting or haven't had enough time to sleep. She then offered Zhang Hao a massage. He declined her offer after trying to excuse her immoral behavior long enough. Zhang Hao tries to push her away before realizing she has twice his body strength. He then says to her that the teacher is here, stop fooling around. As reading the title of the book, Zhang Hao became speechless, remembering reading this book years ago, but being happy and relieved knowing he can use this to his advantage. Feeling like he can easily become the head of the class, he then shouted to the teacher that he's confident he can answer any questions she throws at him. Quickly deflating his confidence, the teacher asks if the weather has him feeling a bit off today, and that he should pay the visit to the infirmary. The class started insinuating that his butt hurts in regard to men experiencing their menstrual cycle. He assured his teacher he's okay and the weather is perfect. As Zhang Hao leaves the class, he walked by two girls gossiping about him, worrying if he has become crazy in a result of his fall that previous day. Hearing them speak about him, he became upset. He then stormed out and headed home. It's the following day, and Zhang Hao and Long are at school. Zhang is visible tired because he did not get enough sleep the past night. Walking by the gym, Zhang was catcalled by a girl, and his backside was being admired. He became moody and annoyed with this world, and was ready to go back to his old world. On his way to the lunchroom, he was approached by a girl with flowers wanting to ask him out, but Zhang let it known that he was not interested because he is not in the mental state to commit to any girl at the moment. Long became jealous because this was the 20th time a girl confessed to Zhang and tried getting with him, but Zhang wasn't having it and headed to the lunchroom to get something to eat because he was starving. Seeing how little the other guys were eating, Zhang wanted to know if it was normal for guys to eat so little. Long let it be known that guys have to watch what they eat and keep a strict diet to watch their weight and waistline. Thinking on his list on how to be a real man, realizing that he needs to bulk up and exercise, Zhang ordered up all the meat dishes and sat down and started to stuff his face. At the same time, Li Feng approached him and asked why was he eating so much. Zhang was surprised and confused, wondering who she was. It appears they have done some studies together, and she was wondering if all the fat he gained went to his brain for not remembering her. Liu told him as a popular boy he should uphold his image and take care of his body, and directly asked him if he wanted to be fat. Zhang became annoyed and wondered if this is how girls act so weirdly in the other world. He asked her if she was a racist and fatphobic. It's kind of nasty how she diss people and talks. Zhang asked her why does she and people like her look down on others, and her personality was trash because she can't appreciate hardworking people and bring others down. Liu started crying and said she was just saying that for his own good. Why would he talk to her like that? She did not expect his response at all. Other girls at the lunchroom took notice and started to look at Zhang in a whole new light, wondering why he was acting this way. Smirking off to the side was Liu, because the public opinion seemed to have been on her side. At the same time, another girl interjects herself into the situation, letting her know how much Zhang has to eat is all his business and no one else, and that Louis was being prejudiced to her peers because he was a boy, and that was downright discrimination. She then greeted Zhang and asked if he was hungry today and offered him her shares of meat. As she was handing over her spoils, Zhang started admiring her and thought she was cute. Zhang then told Lu to leave and shut up if she didn't have anything else to say and let Papa eat. No fats. All for part 1. See you soon.